everything is common. So for us, close to 57 to 58% of our page views come from editing.
To an extent, that's also happening in print.
No,
It's also you have.
yes, we have we have volume on just traveling to this particular place and coming. That's the philosophy that the paper would like to follow. Should the same philosophy be followed by the online version? No, because online version is frankly about numbers. It's also about CPMs. We also look at practicality of what content goes there. So sometimes the lead story may not online. The lead story of the newspaper. It is actually 10 things Aishwarya Rai did with Abhishek Bachchan eventually come, and that probably gets us close to 3 or 4 lakh page views a month. So that's the difference that we're talking about, because if you have to consume all the inventory that people like Shripad and his media colleagues are doing.
Right, let's welcome them all with a big round of applause. Come on, audience. This is going to be very interesting. I mean, it's a day when things haven't gone exactly India's way, but that's okay. There's a lot of sports left in this country, and there's life beyond cricket as well. Let me call up our panelists. Please put your hands together and give a big round of applause. Audience, I'm sure you can do better than that. Come on everyone, all of you young people there. Super. Mr. Venki Mysore, CEO of KKR. Ms. Radha Kapoor, founder of Do It Sports Management. Mr. Vivek Singh, founder ProCam International. Don't let this dry up, come on. Mr. Shailendra Singh, Joint MD Percep. He's on the way. This session is going to be moderated by Mr. Vineet Karnik, National Director, Entertainment, Sports and Live Events, Group N. So 2014 witnessed the emergence of sports as it rekindled the nation's hope, and sports channels of course played a huge role in creating a big buzz in the arena of sports. The successful league models in kabaddi, cricket, hockey, football, badminton and tennis have paved the way for creating viable career options for young Indians. However, the key to success remains in monetization and return of investment of the stakeholders, as well as the sustainability of their business plans. The panel would deliberate on issues relating to a national policy on sports, infrastructure status to build stadiums and facilities, challenges before the rights holders to monetize sports content, franchisees' business models, as well as a national curriculum on sports. So without any more delay, good evening friends. As we are all aware, the topic today that we are going to be deliberating in the next hour or so is, are we finally on the last mile of the big league in sports? And to discuss this topic, we have one of the most eminent panelists from the industry who actually doesn't need an introduction, but I might as well do it once. So, to my extreme left, we have Vivek Singh, founder of ProCam International. Abhishek needs no introduction, but today he is here as not as a star, but as a owner of two clubs, one in kabaddi and one in soccer. Sorry, football. We have Shailendra Singh, Joint Managing Director, Percep, Radha Kapoor, Do It Media, and of course, Venki Mysore, CEO, KKR. Actually, last mile in the context of sport could mean multiple things. To some, it could be packed stadiums. To some, it could be viewership in double digits. To some, it could be robust and sustainable cash flow, talented bench strength, and of course, winning titles. But before we deep dive into this subject, let's look at some visible trends that our sporting industry is throwing at us. Undoubtedly, looking at the panel here, the gap between entertainment and sports as the industries is definitely coming as close as we can think of. Non-cricketing sports definitely taking center stage, and that's what is expanding the sporting ecosystem actually. Sporting businesses are building strong grassroots engagements through experiential programs. Programming quality on sports in the traditional TV is getting bigger and better by every hour, powered by surround content and a very, very strong social layer. Stronger social layer to the extent that digital is going to be the new traditional very soon. And of course, are we as advertisers and investors in this business are finally warming up to move up from the measured valuation to perceived valuations. Now, therefore, while we welcome the new leagues and the sporting culture, monetization and financials of this business are still very critical and challenging. It's quite fashionable these days to say that sports in its initial years should not be looked at from a P&L point, but valuations is what drives the sports business. But the ground reality actually is quite different, my friends. Let's look at some of the patterns that we have learned globally in terms of what actually goes into building a robust sporting franchise. The first and foremost, the business structure of the league should ensure that the entire ecosystem eventually makes money. Product consistency and the broadcast platform becomes another very important layer in the entire game. Realistic pricing followed by marketing. To me, a couple of sports who have done well from a league point of view have been a great marketing stories to start with. And of course, do we have a robust fan engagement program? Because without fans, I don't think sports can sustain itself. Therefore, two questions I would want my eminent panelists to deliberate. First and foremost, are all sports television friendly and therefore advertiser friendly? Second, do we really believe that all sports have a potential to go the league route? May I request Vivek to start with these two things, and we will follow one by one.
Thank you, Vineet, and such a pleasure being here among such wonderful people, really. I think it's quite a broad spectrum that you have laid out and to cover ground here. Just start by saying that at the heart of all sport, at the core of all sport, is human passion and human interest. The reason I bring this up is because that is the two things that we need to ensure before we look at sports becoming a league, becoming commercial successes, valuations, etc. Sometimes you find that people are keen to jump the gun. Without establishing passion and connect, they want to have a commercial success. A sport is something which is very different. It's unlike anything else. Exploitation cannot precede interest. There needs to be interest, there needs to be passion, connect, and then of course there can be exploitation of that. So to answer and to begin this by saying is that yes, it is something which is fabulous. In the last few years so many good things have come up, but we have to be careful whether the investments, whether the mindset is there to build that passion, traction, connect, and then lead it to exploitation, rather than say, we have a sport, it's been going on, we don't know what the passion and connect is, what the interest, but let's have a league and let's have it start off the ground.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vineet, and I just want to echo his sentiments by saying that it's great to be here and with all of you and also in the midst of this August panel. A couple of quick comments that I'd like to make is that in the context of what has been happening in the last few years, I suppose I'll be speaking more from this standpoint of franchise sports, which has evolved over the last few years. I suppose IPL kicked it off, and we're very fortunate to be with the